One, two, 1, 2. What's up, y'all? We are here at the Stay in Your Lane show. I am your host, the funniest Olympic champion in comedy, Bernard Williams. And today we got a special guest. That's right. We got a special guest, my co-host from the Realest Track and Field show, Anson Henry. He'll be in here in a minute. Talking about my life, I keep it private. All up in my business.
What's good, man?
Yo, what's up?
I'm chilling here. What you saying?
Hey, can you hear the difference in the mic?
I told you, hey, when I saw you do that interview with Caleb, was it Caleb?
Yes,
Caleb? I
Caleb.
said
Yep.
in your comments, yo. I said in the comments, yo,
Thank you. But
Mike
I'm talking about like right.
Mike
I'm
sounded
talking
kind
about
of
like right
crisp.
now. I'm trying.
I
I'm
don't know.
trying
You
to
sound
step my
crisp,
game up.
Doug. You sound
All
crisp,
right.
yo.
Cool, man. Everybody, I'd like to welcome my co-host from the Realest Track and Field. This man is the Canadian Sensation, the Canadian bearded one, the Canadian Shaolin. I'll keep it going. Yeah, man, the bearded Canadian. Thank you, Steve Sports Coach. The one and only, the #1 digital content creator out there, Anson Henry. Give it up for
Respect, Doug. Respect, yo. What you saying?
him. He said, I beat him here, Bill. Yeah, man. So how's life?
Man, life is life, yo. Getting used to this UK living. You know what I'm saying? It's been a culture shock, but I love it out here, yo. So yeah,
So what is the difference as far as the seasons? Like as far as like the cold weather? Is it colder in Canada or is it colder
yeah.
in the UK?
It's it's colder in Canada in
Mm.
the winter, but it's hotter in Canada in the summer. So as weird as that sounds, like here in the UK,
Mm.
wintertime it rains. It rains a lot, and it's
Mm.
cold, but it's not like Canada cold, yo. Like there's certain coats I have to wear when I'm in Canada. I'm not gonna wear those
Ooh.
coats here. But because I don't
Mm.
wear those coats here, I end up still being cold because I'm not really. When you're in Canada, it's so cold that you make sure to prepare for the cold because it's
Mm.
that kind of cold, right? Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's a it's a bit different here weather-wise, but I mean, yeah, hotter in the winter, hotter in the summer, colder in the winter. Yeah, that's what it is. Did I say that
He
right?
said yes. He said you're an MJ lane now. I'm a Donovan Bailey fan.
Oh shoot, Doug.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. MJ was my teammate, but I was a Donovan Bailey and still a Donovan Bailey fan too.
For real.
Yeah, man. Donovan Bailey is one of the greatest sprinters to ever live that really doesn't get his just due.
Yo, look it. Let me ask you something. Which page did I join from? Am I on my page?
You're on the Realest Track and Field page, I believe.
Man, okay, hold up, man. I gotta.
That's how
I'm
you
gonna
can
come back.
exit and
I'm
go
gonna come
back.
back on mine, yo. Yeah, I'm gonna come back on mine, yo.
All right, so you want me to scrap this and
Stay
then
here.
come
Stay
back
here. Nah,
or
stay
stay
here.
in?
I'm gonna come back.
All
I'm gonna
right,
come back.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He said, what?
Tripping, yo. Hold up. Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, man. Great brother. And while he's coming back, pause, coming back. This man has inspired me to do my own podcast, to create better content, and more importantly, to help the world of track and field by using social media. So shouts out to Anson Henry. He'll be back on his page when you're touring down in the UK. You know what, man? You just spoke it up. So I should be in the UK as soon as Anson and I work some of our connections. And yes, Donovan
All right,
Bailey
there we go.
broke the world record. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, Donovan Bailey broke the world record coming from the back. A lot of people don't
Well,
understand when you break the world record and you are behind. That's more impressive to me. If you're already out front and you're jogging, we're pretty much seeing the world record coming. No disrespect to Usain Bolt, but to come from the back, to be almost dead last, and to break the world record, just what if he had a great start? That world record probably would have went from 9.84 probably to 9.7.
hmm.
Just speaking.
So you were saying you're more of a Donovan Bailey fan than a Michael Johnson fan.
Yeah, because I like the 100. It was more about the 100, and Donovan Bailey represent toughness, man. No disrespect, but ran, when Mike blew people out, pause. Mike was already Superman. A lot of people
Right,
don't realize they used to call Michael Johnson Superman. I read his book. He has a book called Slay the Dragon, and in his book, he has some very, very hard workouts that I bear witness in high school to watch just on paper. And so what he did was incredible for the 400 and the 200. But for Donovan, it was like he was stepping up for the 100-meter guys, and he was taking on the challenge of somebody who's supposed to not be as strong, but he was the world's
right.
fastest man. So that 150, if Donovan, Michael Johnson, if you're out there, I would like to see y'all get on the track again at the age of 50 something. And I would like to see y'all have that race one more time. So you can kick his
Uh,
ass again one more time.
hey, I was about to say, Doc, that sounded just like the quote, yo. That sounded just like the quote.
Yes.
So you kick his ass one more
One more
time.
time.
100%,
Just
Doc.
one more time, man.
I
But
know.
I think it would be great. Speaking of masters, Tyreek Hill just ran a 60 meters and he went like 6.7.
You know what, man? Look, I was impressed with his 670.
I was too.
I was like, yo, that's not bad. But
Right.
I mean, he's still nowhere near what he said he'd be able to do, Doc. So you were talking shit. So get roasted
No,
now, Doc. Just
no,
take it
six
how
seven
you
is great.
gave it, Doc.
Look,
It
if you haven't
is. It
ran in
is.
10 years, hear me out. If you haven't ran in 10 years, 6.7 is marvelous.
It's good.
It's a
It
start.
absolutely is. It
It's a
absolutely is
start.
good. Do you think he would run faster or slower with some heat around him?
Oh, I think he'll run faster
Even
with more
even though
competition.
even though he's not a seasoned sprinter anymore, you feel like he'd run
No, he,
faster?
he can work the thing about muscle memory and the thing about sprinting is that's the beauty of sprinting. You can work your way up. You can start at 6.7, and that is the benchmark. And you can work your way from 6.7 to 6.6, 6.6 to 6.61, 6.61 to 6.59. If he has constant training and really focused on sprinting with the right coach, possibly me, I know he can do it. He can do it.
But why are we doing so much ifs with this guy? Why are we doing so much ifs and coulds with these football players? Who cares, really?
I'll tell you why. Well, the people who are watching us cares, and all lives matter. But the reason
I got
why is because here's my thing. Football players are athletes, just like track and field athletes are athletes. Track and field has benefited from people coming from football to track and field to make a living. We've had numerous Olympic champions from Quincy Watts, who was a football player at first, who got the Olympic gold in the 400. Michael Bates in 92, who got the bronze or the silver medal in the 200 behind Mike Marsh, who was a professional football player. And then we have the great legend, Bob Hayes, who was the only man to win a Super Bowl and an Olympic title for the 100, all in the same year. So track and field has always benefited from people who have played football to put speed on the track. And that's why I think it's an interesting conversation to see what he can really do if he really concentrated on
hmm. Yeah, I'm not really interested.
it.
I feel like I really don't. I don't. I only think it's a big deal because he's in the NFL. The NFL is
Right.
obviously a much. It's a much more much more polished, much more prestigious league than World Athletics or than the IAAF. That's what it is. And the fact that he's a member of that makes
Right.
it interesting that he comes to do track field. But from an athletic standpoint, if he runs with elite sprinters, he's going to get destroyed. Do you know he's ranked in the world right now with that 670?
But he hasn't ran in 10 years.
It doesn't matter. Right now, what interests me in him is nothing. He's ranked 213th in the world. The only reason we're thinking of could haves and ifs is because he's in the NFL. It's only because of the organization, not him and what he could do. There's a lot of people in a lot of sports that if they put some time into track and field, football or soccer, you guys like to call it. You know how many athletes, if they put training in, could be really fast in the 100, but who cares? I
We
don't know why
do.
we're making.
We do.
No,
We
I
do.
don't care. I really don't care.
You don't.
We have
You
people.
so let
We
me get
have
this
people
straight.
that are running
So you don't
9.7.
think you don't think it's interesting that
Not at all.
someone could come from another sport and to be disciplined and to challenge other professionals?
Challenge who? Who's he challenging?
Well, right now he's challenging people his age. As he build, depending on how fast he get, that's who he's
Hey
challenging.
man, look, he's not. He's not challenging anybody. This
Somebody
is what we
said
need to
beat.
make clear. We're like it's. I don't care what he could do or if he did. Like, that's me personally, and I think a lot of people speak along the same lines.
Right.
It's really a non-factor as far as track and field. We spoke about this a little bit briefly. I think, but I blame track and field for allowing this to even be interesting because in general,
Hmm.
and I said this to you as well before. I don't know if you remember. I said the track athletes can take control of their own sport if they just race each other. Now, if you
Oh,
have
now if you
races,
right
Fred's
now
in
if
the
you
chat
speak
right
from
now.
that standpoint, I make it. You're right. If you speak from that, you're right. But
Yeah,
again,
we
Fred
don't
Curley
need
said, "But
Tyreek.
it's interesting if you keep bringing them up." Right? It's interesting because we
No,
keep bringing them up.
but he's saying because we keep bringing it up.
Well,
Even Fred,
yeah,
we were speaking
because
about this the other night.
I'm interested. I like to
Fred
see.
the other day was like, why are we even talking about this guy? He's a
Well, hold
non-factor.
on.
Fred,
Did you not say yourself that it was impressive and you like the run that he ran?
it was impressive for someone who's a non-factor.
No, but you said it was impressive. Did you not say that?
I wouldn't be excited to tune into Tyreek 670 at the
But was you
USATF
impressive
Masters.
at his sprint form and what he did? Be honest. You said that, right?
His sprint form? I thought his sprint
Yeah.
form was trash.
No, but did you say you was impressed by the run he ran? Be honest.
The time 670,
Yeah.
I expected him to run 6.8. So that's why I was like, okay. That's Bernard, yo. I have no expectations of this dude. He means nothing to me as far as track and field. I think it's cool. I think it's cool what he does
Oh,
in the NFL, and I think
right,
it's cool the fact that he ran track and he still has some track speed. How he
right.
embarrasses people on the football field with that little bit of track speed he has left, but he doesn't really have elite
He
track
said the
speed
little bit
anymore
of track speed he has left. Oh man,
because football players aren't fast. They're not fast. So with the little bit of track speed he still has left, he'll make them look like they're not moving. Now, people need to put into context that speed that he has, if he comes into the track and field world, the 670 that he's trained for and got to this point right
first
now,
race though. First race, you got to give him that.
he's 213th in the world.
With this
Put that
first
in
race
context.
in 10 years.
Yes, 213th in the world,
Give him a
670.
chance to
Okay.
build. Give him a chance to build like most
He
other
ran
sprinters.
his best track races in college. His fast days are behind him. He's not going to run fast again.
Man, don't say
When he
that.
was
You
training,
can't say
what,
that. You got to give him a chance to train.
I bet you,
You didn't
Tyreek
even expect.
wouldn't.
Listen, you didn't expect him to even go 670. So come on now. He's
Yeah,
already
but
exceeded your
670 still isn't
expectation.
fast though, Bernard.
Yeah, but he's exceeded your
We're talking about putting him
expectation.
on the track with pros. No, we're putting him on the track with pros. Talking
There's
about
a
putting him
lot
on the
of
track with
pros that
pros.
start out with like 6'6", 6'7", and then they end up
Not
running 6'5", 6'4".
okay, but not people who are
Come on now, be
look at
honest.
in my worst years. In my worst years, I ran six sixes. I had to be injured, and I would be at a point where I'm not feeling good about my sprinting. Now we're giving him
Mm,
credit for times that if people run them, they're
right,
contemplating retiring.
right.
I don't want to give credit to him for running times that if people in the track world are running them, they're going to consider retiring. or they should be
Right.
retired. That's not
Okay.
that's not something that we need to give him credit for. Tyreek did his little 6'7", cool dog. Like, all right, but you're not you have no business being in a conversation with any elite sprinters. You went to the USATF Masters meet to
Yes.
compete. Did you
Yes.
see some of the
When
pictures of the people that were competing there?
don't
Dog,
do
that's
that,
like that's
brother.
like going
Don't.
that's like Fred. He's supposed to be like the fastest in his sport, right? That's like Fred
Right.
Curley going over to um, the Ebenezer Baptist Football League and dominating and
You know.
putting it on social media like, oh, look for Fred Curley could do with all
You know
these
what? But you know
pastors.
what? Let me tell you
Look at
something.
that.
Fred
This
Curley.
it's
Fred Curley did his first race out. Be honest. When he mashed that curve, ran that straightaway, and then celebrated with that hand up, you
But that's
cannot
what
tell
that's
me.
what I want to see. That's elite sprinting.
Listen,
That's
listen.
what I want to
That
see.
was okay. Cool. You don't think that was similar to Tyreek in his race?
Tyreek at the USATF Master.
You don't think? Listen, did you see those people behind Fred Curley?
listen,
Did you
listen.
see them?
Some of
Listen,
those people are
did you?
fast.
Look,
Some of those
listen.
people are fast.
They are, but what I'm trying to say
Bernard,
is
you know, you with your
the
eye,
way
with
he
your coaching
dominated.
eye,
Hear me out. The
you will see
the way
sprinting and be
he
like, yo,
dominated, the way he dominated with his finger up for 30 meters. You cannot
right.
tell me like I don't. And I celebrated. I don't care who was in the race, but my thing is, you got to look at that. Like you said, that race is just one race. That wasn't. That was just the Masters. Like with Fred Curley, that was just a open upper. You know, it wasn't like
Those were
it was
pros that Fred did that to. Fred did that to pros. You could
that's what
look at
they
a
call.
fast
That's what
person.
they listen.
Okay, well
That's
they
what they
weren't
call it.
masters. They weren't master. They were at a USATF
They was
Masters.
around the
Do you know what
same age.
second?
They
Do you know
probably was
what
like
was second place
25.
to
You ever
Tyreek's
listen?
race? What was second
You
place
ever
to
see
Tyreek's race?
maybe like
I
I
think
don't
it was
I
eight
couldn't tell you.
seconds. Okay, that's what I'm saying. We're not, like Tyreek running against some people who are just trying to stay in shape is not impressive.
Bro,
It
you
can't be compared
know
to
when you
Fred
go to some of those
jogging on some
European
pros.
when you go into some of those European meets like Fred Curley ran, you find those same exact bodies with those same
No, you
exact
won't.
ages. Yes, you will. And
Bernard,
you
the
put and you put
USATF
they get lame.
Masters,
They get
the
lame. I'm
USATF
for real.
Masters, Fred,
Do
I
you
mean
know where
Fred,
some of those masters
Bernard,
go? They go right
Bernard,
over to Europe.
they will never, they won't even go to, where was USATF Masters? Where was it?
That's not the point. The point is he
No, but
put
where was
together a
it?
nice race that you was impressed with.
Gretchen, they're not leaving the region. They're not going anywhere. They're going to that meet. That's their meet for the year. They're not going to be traveling the world competing. Fred went
That's
and competed with some pros and put
look,
real
he
time up on
probably
the clock
started his
jogging.
race out with the Masters. He's probably working his way
I
up
don't think
to
Tyreek will
actually
run again.
qualify.
I
I
don't think
think
Tyreek will
so.
run again.
I didn't expect
No,
him to run that.
I don't think he will. If he
I
does,
didn't.
it'll be against some more slow people.
I think he's going to surprise you.
No,
I
he
think
won't.
he's
He
going to
won't.
surprise you.
Tyreek will not put himself in a position to get destroyed. He wants to go to the
Mm.
Masters meet and make the highlight for House of Highlights in Sports Center and ESPN to show him annihilating these people with gray hair. Yay, Tyreek.
Did you say
I'm not
annihilate?
buying that. I'm not buying this story he's creating, Doug. Everyone knows that he does not want to
Oh
race anyone
man,
who's really going to run fast. He doesn't
man,
want to do it.
you're a cold
But
piece
he'll
of
race
work,
Bolt.
man.
He'll race Bolt because he knows Bolt isn't. He's seen Bolt lately. Bolt's not in shape. Bolt is like well beyond track and field now. He's
But
not.
like I told you, Bo can work himself back into shape, and then next
He
thing you know,
could.
boom.
He could. But Bolt is a different. Like we're not going to compare Bolt coming back into track
No,
to
no,
Tyreek
no,
coming
we're
into
not
track.
comparing it. I'm just
It's
saying
like
the point I'm trying to
these are the
make is
conversations
you
that these
can
are the
work.
conversations Tyreek's being mixed into right now.
Yeah, but you
Which
can
is
work. All I'm saying is whatever you are today, whether you're 6'7", 6'6", you can work. And you have you if you
okay.
work hard enough, you can bring your time down. That's what track and field is
Yeah.
all about.
Yeah,
Come on, brother.
I'm personally
You
I'm not
ain't
interested in
feeling
the kids. Nah,
all right.
he's
Well,
not.
let me ask you some questions, brother. Who is Anson Henry exactly? Let the world know who is Anson Henry.
Um, Anson Henry is uh second generation Canadian, no, second generation Jamaican How do you like your
Oh,
parents?
snap. I did
Second
not know you were
generation.
Jamaican. I thought I knew you.
You didn't know my parents are Jamaican?
I had no idea. That's why I couldn't wait to interview you, brother.
Bernard, all this time you did. Are you being serious?
I am dead serious.
For real? Okay.
No, no,
Yeah.
my bad, my bad. Now that we're talking, I remember you saying something about your mom being Jamaican. When
Yeah,
we
both my
with
parents.
this, yeah, but I never actually got the time to like ask you, where are you from? Like, what?
Yeah.
So you have a different mindset. You have a different standard being Jamaican and a Canadian sprinter.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like most Canadians you'd probably meet, but you find that a lot of black people that come out of Toronto, especially, are just second generation from another island, whether it's
Yeah,
Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Grenada. Like it's all island people out of Toronto, right?
nice.
But the
Nice,
thing
nothing but
is,
speed.
our parents,
Hmm.
yeah, it's in the blood. But our parents are real island people. Like I didn't grow up Canadian. I grew up Jamaican in Canada.
Nice.
If you understand the difference. So
Yes.
I'm like everything about my lifestyle was Jamaican, but just in the 416.
Okay.
That's all it
So,
was really.
so did your parents participate in sports?
My mom told me that she used to be really good at netball. You know what netball
Okay.
is?
Is that sort of like ping pong? I think with the
It's
paddle and the
basketball with
birdie.
no backboard. It's basketball with no
Oh,
backboard
I've seen
and
that.
no dribbling. And no dribbling.
Oh, so how many
It's a
steps are
weird
they
sport,
allowed?
dog.
How many steps they allowed to take?
I think they're allowed once. It's a weird sport, dog. It's like one or two steps or something. And
Okay.
my dad didn't play no sports, but I seen some old pictures of him, um,
Mhm.
and he was ripped. Like he was one of those
Yeah.
people that was just naturally lean. So like sports wasn't necessarily um, a rite of passage back in them days. So like
Mhm.
he worked. He was just trying to um, make ends meet and contribute to the family and stuff. That's all you do really. And then
But they
try
both
to.
were athletes, but they both did sports.
He didn't do it. I don't think he did any sports. He just looked very athletic. Like
Okay. Yeah,
he had an eight
that's how
pack
my
and
dad
been
was.
muscles and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, my
he
dad
just
was
had
like
that.
that. My dad had like a six pack, but he never ran track or anything.
Right. Okay. So you
Yeah.
get it. It's
So
genetics.
you got good genetics.
Right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
man. So
so that was
how's
there.
so tell me something. What other sports did you participate in other than track and field?
Blessed. My first sport was soccer. You guys like to call football. My first sport.
Right. That was my next question, but I'm listening.
That was the first sport that I ever played. But then I got into basketball when I was in like eighth grade or something like that, and I really clicked with basketball. I was a basketball player like seriously for about 10, 15 years before I got into track. About
Mm.
10 years, 10 years. So when I first started track, I was heavy into basketball. Like I was looking into getting basketball scholarships. I was like 6'2" and you'll be loose, shut up, yo. I was like 6'2", but I was point. I played point, and I was athletic. I could run, I could jump. So that's all I was thinking about. But I, I I was really fast when I was young. So when I was like 18, I was like, man, let me just see what happens with this track and field thing. Because Donovan had just won the Olympics
Yeah,
in
96.
'96. So I was either
Mm-hmm.
17 or 18. I was in 12th grade. And I was like, let me just see what I could do. There's a few kids on the high school team that were talking shit. I was like, yo, if I trained, I could run fast. They didn't believe me. But I did it and I ended up running fast really quickly. So then track started to become more of a part of my life, and then I had to kind of move away from basketball because everything happened in track so quickly. It was like this might be the path. So yeah,
So who
basketball was I still I play basketball a lot now though again, but
you're a
basketball
hooper.
was my
Once a hooper,
sport.
always a hooper. So who are your
Yeah,
top five basketball players? Your top five.
my top five would be Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson,
Mm.
Penny Hardaway,
Mm.
um, um, Kobe Bryant, and not necessarily the best. These are just my players. And Shaq.
So one of
I
your
don't model
top
my game after
five.
all of them, but
So
I
one
used
of
to
your
model my
top
game after Penny
five
a lot.
cannot shoot a free throw.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But you know what though? When I met you, I was like, this dude looked like a basketball player. I'm like, this dude look like a hooper.
I think I move
Yeah,
around like a basketball player. I think I have basketball mannerisms.
yeah, man, you're a baller, bro. You're a baller,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I picked up track late, So and I really consumed myself with basketball. I was always watching basketball. I always had a basketball in my hand. I was always at school early, shooting around, going to class sweaty. After school, I'm playing ball some more. I was a baller, dog.
I
But
can
I
tell.
always, but when I was young, I loved watching track and field. Though it was something I always enjoyed watching, and I was naturally fast when I was young. But as far as playing, basketball just took over my life.
Man, that's so cool. I knew it though. I just never asked you. I was like, yo, we're gonna do a show where I get to ask this brother. Now I know I didn't write one of these questions, but what is your PR in the 200 and what is your PR in the 400?
My PR on the 200 is 2052.
Okay.
The 400, I never ran an open 400.
Now, what was
But
your
you've
fastest
probably,
split?
my fastest split was, I think it was 46.3,
Yeah.
something
Okay.
like that.
And your PR for the
Um,
100?
10-12. A
Nice.
couple couple windy 10-0s, but I ain't dipping a nine like you, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a part of
Oh
my,
man, shoot. Oh man, I wasn't
I
dipping
wasn't
in
one of
none.
those
Look at me.
ones.
I was being dragged with some 9.8s in front of me, brother. So I was just very
Apart
fortunate
reflection,
to
dog,
have
I would have
some.
been a nasty 400 meter runner. Would have been a
I could.
nasty 400
That's
meter runner.
why. That's why I asked because you're
Yeah, I
tall,
figured.
and you have levers, right?
Yeah,
So
and
it's
I could
only
run a
right
long
that
time.
and like your two and your one, it fits your frame.
Yeah, that 2052 was that's with no I didn't like the
I
200.
don't think you.
So I
Yeah, I
would
don't think
jog the
you was
turn.
really. Yeah, you probably would just like save your energy so you can come home with something.
Yeah, I didn't there was no race strategy. I just jogged the turn once I get on the straight. I
This
knew
lady said, "Damn, Anson fast."
I
Yeah.
but
No, people don't
but the
understand.
400
Not
I could have done some real
everybody.
damage.
Look. Not everybody can go 9.7, 9.6. You
Right.
know what I mean? Just because somebody else go 9.6 or 7 on steroids does not mean that 10.12 or 10 flat is slow. It's all about your mindset. Do you think
Right.
it's all about your mindset and what you're comparing it to? When I compare Anson, I'm comparing him to everybody that's natural. You
Right.
understand? Everybody know that 10.12 and 10 flat is not that far off.
Right.
It's
But to
not.
us it is.
And 10 flat 9.9 is like a blink of an eye, like a lean,
Right.
you know. So who
But
was your favorite coach you like to work with?
I don't know if you know this, but my high school coach was Charlie Francis.
Yes,
You
I
know Charlie
remember you
Francis?
speaking.
Yeah.
Yes. So was it
And
anybody better than that, like other than
I had
Pat?
I had some great coaches. I loved Dan. Dan was a good coach. But
Yeah.
Dan always had so many athletes. And
Mm,
Charlie really introduced me to the sport. Like I said, I didn't know nothing about real track and field. I was just playing basketball and I had some like athletic ability. But when he first saw me, he saw something in me. Like he was immediately he just taught me a lot. Like I don't think it's bragging for me to say that I really understand sprinting, but that's because I was under his tutelage. He taught me a lot of things. He used to talk to me
mm.
through a lot of sprinting and mechanics and technique and while my brain was still pretty malleable, right? So I learned sprinting through someone who was a scientist in that space. He has a bad reputation, obviously, because of what happened with Soul, but
Right.
Because of that, people want to assume that all he's doing is opening up the trench coat with prescriptions inside of it, as far
Right.
as how to. But he just understood the body and science and movement and periodization and
Yeah.
adaptation and all that shit. Like he is just he for that one mistake, he's discredited for the genius he actually was. And I just got a lot
Yes.
of info from an early age, so I understand sprinting differently than most people. Um,
Nice.
but
Nice.
I'd say him. He used to spend because he had a lot of focus on me. I'd say that he treated me. Um, I had the best time with him because I was actually able to have my. When you got so many other training partners, that people, the coach can't always choreograph your workouts and program to what needs to be personalized for you. And I feel
Absolutely.
like, yeah, I didn't really get that opportunity with Dan because there was just a lot of other athletes involved.
I understand exactly what you're talking about. When I was introduced to track and field, there was a book given to me by my coach, Eric Howard, rest in peace, and it was called Speed Trap, and it was written by Charlie Francis, and he basically talked about how strength training was very vital to building a stronger and faster athlete. And so, even though he worked with Ben Johnson and the steroid, um, the steroid thing is present, I always learn from that book the science behind it because my thing was, let's just say you do all these things without taking steroids. Now you're actually maximizing the knowledge that you're exposed with to go to the next level,
Right.
and so that was one of the first books that I read was Speed Trap by Charlie Francis. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And at the end of the day, we all make a decision in life. Like, is there certain information you can take, and there's certain things that you can't take. It's just we
Right.
all make a decision, and I don't knock any of the athletes that did make that decision. I'm just thankful that I was provided with the knowledge base of it to actually be allowed to run on that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I didn't
Right.
want, I never liked lifting weights, and so
Right.
yeah, I
A
didn't
lot
want
of
to
people
run
don't.
heavy or pull a hamstring. Nobody wants to run like that,
Yeah.
you know?
It's a good book. It's a good book. Um,
Yeah,
I feel like it's hard, right? Because it's almost lose lose. Like, okay, you take drugs, you're cheating. You don't take drugs. Like, some people have the audacity to try and roast you on your career with what
right,
you've done. Think
right.
about that. Think of the accomplishments you've had, and like it's the what people accept as success in track and field. The standard is so high that it's like, so where's the win? Where do you win? Like you obviously you have to be the best and break world records and all that supernatural shit
I think
naturally,
you win it. I think you win
right?
in the end. Like I have this whole motto called "Stay in your lane,"
Right.
you know, and so nobody's no everybody can give you praise. Let's just say in the beginning when you win, right? But if you're not living a healthy lifestyle, or the time will tell the truth. So you can be an Olympic champion in 2000 and whatever, or 1970, whatever. But if you're not providing knowledge and doing something positive, helping kids grow, doing something for your community, we'll know who the real winners are. And you will be forgotten, like most world record holders and most Olympic champions who don't do anything other than run. So I
Right.
think the real race is won in the end. As you get older, you get more mature. You learn how to evolve with the game. You give
Mm.
information back to young folks so they can actually take it another level. Because if I can do it and you can do it clean, then there are a whole lot of other people that can do it clean.
Yeah. Obviously, it's it's possible, right? But what do you think
Absolutely.
about people who as soon as someone starts running fast, they start accusing them of taking drugs? What do you think about that
Oh man,
ideology?
that's that's just them being programmed from what they've seen in the past.
Right.
It's almost like if you watch, hey, I'm giving a show here. Can you keep it down? Sorry about that. It's
Okay.
like you see a movie and you recognize the plot because you watched movies for the last 20 years and you know what's going to happen. That's how I view people looking at someone run fast and then all of a sudden they go, you know what? I've seen this before. Yeah, that guy's dirty. And
Mm,
they only have that reason because of the history and the stigma that comes with the history of it. So,
mm.
everybody has their own opinion, but it's almost like history. I know that guy can't be that fast. And you're entitled to your opinion, but I just think based on the history of our game and what we do and and how the game operates, that's probably why they do that.
Mm.
You know? Now, who was your favorite celebrity to actually meet while you was on the world scene? Because you probably meet celebrities all the time as far as being a successful blogger. Like who was the number one like famous person that you met that you was honored to meet?
You know what? I'm usually disappointed when I meet um, celebrities from a very early age, from a very early age, and I think,
Really?
I think
Don't say
that
no
I think
names. I
it
don't want you to. I don't want you to make
no,
them
no, no,
mad.
no,
Don't say no
from a
names.
very early age. I think that I think it lowered my expectations as I got
Mm,
older, as far as meeting people who were famous,
thank
right?
you.
Um, so I never, to be honest, I come across a lot of people in different realms, music,
Mm.
sports, entertainment, and I'm actually a lot less interested in getting to know them when they are famous
Mm.
because of the fact that I don't want the vision I have of them in their sport or profession to be tainted by me actually knowing that they're kind of lame. I don't want
Mm.
that, right? Again,
Yeah.
I've never had great experiences meeting people, and if there are people who are considered to be like famous
Influential.
and I thought were cool, I might not even they might not be coming to my mind because they just seem like another person to me. But
Mm.
I can't. You know who was mad cool from the jump was
Tell me about it. Who?
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and I'm remembering for the celebrity that he was
Hmm.
because that's how I always viewed him. I always thought that he was just
Was the
a
Olympic
figure.
champ. Yes, he was.
Yeah, and even before when he was just like before like '87 when he won worlds, and um, I know you've seen that race because you mimicked one of the interviews with Carl in that race when he was
Oh,
talking about the
yeah,
flyer. He's like,
yeah,
I think
the Olympics.
I think you really caught a flyer. I've heard you do that
He
before.
was.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. So even like '86, '87, like he was just this. So I never forgot about that because I remember Ben for the good. I don't really think about anything else because we
But
could discuss
hey,
that ideology later. That
that's the
too, but
brethren. You know.
yeah, I think for any Caribbean people coming to Toronto, it's hard to make it, dog. So
Did you learn anything from Ben?
a lot, and I know what everyone's gonna say, but
No,
no,
you didn't learn that.
yeah,
Obviously, you
yeah,
didn't take
but
it.
yeah,
I'm
so
just
it
joking.
doesn't
That
matter.
sounds
But in
disrespectful. I'm
general,
so
I know,
sorry.
I know,
I'm so
I
sorry.
know.
I did not mean
But in
that.
general, there's so
My
there's so
bad.
much. No, but no, it's funny though. But there's so much depth to that whole situation with Ben that it's not really being viewed fairly in its entirety.
Right. It's
So
not fairly. I told
it's
you
just
that on our show. I
yeah,
remember I told you. I said Ben caught the downfall.
yeah.
Marion Jones, she had her thing. Tim Montgomery had their thing,
Mhm.
but Ben Johnson was the first guy to go down, And meanwhile, according to that documentary, 99% of the field had tested positive for performance enhancement.
Right.
So why
Right.
did Ben go down? The reason why Ben went down because everybody wanted Carl Lewis to win. And when Carl didn't win, Ben went down. And then Florence Griffith Joyner retired.
Right. And it's
Yeah, man.
funny. I, I
That's
was
that's
I
just
was
my
talking.
opinion. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. And I was talking to Carl the other. Carl came on Spring Culture the other day, right? And
Mhm.
I
Oh, that was a great
like
segment too. I
the
saw that.
depths of the conversations I really want to get into with Carl. We couldn't because the sound wasn't good where he was, and but there's so many different ways I want to go with what I actually want to talk to him about because of
Yeah.
how I viewed the sport at that time and how I viewed Ben and the perspective of Ben, and there's so much more there that I want to be able to get to it at some point. But um, just Charlie at that stage of track and field understood the landscape. Things are different now. Like there's so many other things that can help you become fast. Back then, it wasn't like that. It was pretty clear that there was, in most people's eyes, that you had to, if you wanted to be the best, you want to be the
Mm-hmm.
best. Not if you wanted to be good. If
Right.
you wanted to be the best,
This is what you got to
there's some,
do.
yes. And Charlie was pretty straight with them. Ben came to Canada from Jamaica with nothing, Regin. Like he had his
Right.
mom. His mom was working multiple jobs. They're broke. He was given an out. He was given an option. This you can change your life. Who like how this is a stuttering Jamaican kid that most in white Canada that people probably look at him like some kind of weirdo, can't even talk properly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's this guy ever gonna be? And he got this opening to where once he started running fast, people started to actually think something
Notice.
of him. Yeah, in Canada, this stuttering Jamaican youth with no chance really.
So
So
when Donovan Bailey hit the scene, it was like finally
yeah,
we can redeem ourselves. Or no,
yeah,
excuse me.
yeah.
When DeGrasse hit the scene, it was like, okay, we have a new view now. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, it's like I think people have had to dig their way out of the hole that was created, not by Ben, but that was created from the Ben situation.
I
And there
think he
was
was a
just
scapegoat. I just really think he
yeah,
was a scapegoat,
yeah.
and I think
Even
he
Donovan
did
got
not.
overshadowed a little bit by that whole
Definitely,
mess.
Bruni Cern is another one that really
Yeah,
got shadowed. He really didn't. They didn't really look at him like Bruni ran some really fast times and competed during championships when he was healthy. When
right.
he was healthy,
But out of
yeah, but
all
he
them
got
guys,
overshadowed too.
yeah, but out of all them guys, like Ben was the one that really
Put it
like
on the map
gave back. Well, that for sure. But I'm talking about as far as like someone like me coming out,
to the
like
community.
Donovan when he was in high school. I think before he went to Dan, his fastest time up to that point was maybe 10:50 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Donovan was a great athlete in basketball as well, but he wasn't like a sprint prospect per se. He has the speed, but he hadn't run anything, right?
Yeah,
But as far as the generation that came out, like from 19 years old, there's Pierre Brown running 10-1. You remember
I
Pierre?
remember
There's
Pierre in
Nicholas
2000. He
Macrozenaris,
was awesome. Nicholas was
right?
great too.
At 19 was running 10-1, and you had me at 19 running 10-1. So
Yes.
this is like as far as prospects, like this is better than Ben or Donovan and them guys. So this is like you need to bring these guys along. I mean,
Yeah.
aside from Ben, there was no one that really had any kind of influence. We were trying to figure stuff out on our own. And the thing is, we weren't even really allowed to be seen or heard of talking to Ben during them times. We could have gotten in real trouble.
Mm,
You know what I'm
I can
saying?
see that.
So it's like
Yeah.
this roundabout trying to guide us, not even us, me more so than most probably, but um, it's like you can't even get the the um, the tutelage that's necessary from someone that's been
Guy. Yes.
where
Who's
you
been
want to
there?
go.
The
You know what I'm
blueprint.
saying? You
Yes.
just got to figure it
Yes.
out. Here's some contract money. Go into
Mhm.
gold. So, fuck that.
Right.
Like, I don't know
Okay.
what the fuck.
Yeah. I see.
There's no
So tell me,
blueprint really.
right. Okay, so coming from that environment, from Canada, what was your? I know that was pretty much a culture shock when you attended a university in the United States. You went to like Washington, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. What was that transition like coming from an international, world class level in Canada? You know, because you guys were world class, 18, 19 years old. How was the culture shock for you? And you know, how was your college experience?
College experience was good, but when I first got to school, I was getting obliterated running. I was losing pretty badly. I wasn't used to that. You know what's funny
Oh,
now? I remember
yeah.
my freshman year, um, we went to meet in Nebraska, indoor meet,
Mm.
and I
Nebraska
saw you
Kearney.
there. And I saw you
Yeah.
there.
Oh, snap. Yes, I remember.
You were still at Barton though,
Yeah,
and you were
98,
wearing the
bro. 98,
stripes. You were
99.
wearing the striped socks or the stripes.
Yes. Yeah, that was my cat in the hat joints.
Yeah, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this cat, yo?" Because I'm being exposed to speed in front of my face. I'm used to this, right?
Right.
So I was like, "Yo, this is how these cats
Oh,
are running, yo." But I remember that specifically in my
oh,
freshman year,
snap.
yo.
Man, I had no idea, brother. So we was
Yeah.
competing against each other early.
Well, no, I didn't get to race you. I didn't get to race you there because
But
I
you
don't
were
remember. I
there.
ran.
I mean, we were
I
we
was
were we
there.
were working.
Yeah,
We were
yeah, yeah,
working
yeah,
because
yeah. I used to see you around.
oh
I knew who you
man.
were. Yeah, but
So
yeah,
like,
that was
when did you actually get comfortable? Like not comfortable, but when did you actually start seeing progress move when you was in college?
sophomore year. I opened up really, really, really well, but I think my body was getting used to the speed. But my freshman year, I ended up getting injured.
Mm,
I
mm,
pulled something, and then the season was done. But then sophomore year came around, I wised up a little bit, and I opened up just outside automatic in the 60. So I
mm.
was, but then I ended up getting injured again. So it was more of a thing of balancing injuries through my first 3 years, and then senior year. But I was always in the mix when I was healthy. But my senior year, I was able to stay healthy, and then
So what did you do your senior year that was different? How did you overcome all of those?
uh, you know what? It was just cutting. This is gonna sound bad, but I had never drank before I got to university. So when I started consuming alcohol, I think that my body it didn't work for me like as far as recovery and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was running very well. My body's going through these experiencing these this power exertion that it's not used to, and
Mm.
I was getting injured a lot. And I think my senior year I was just focused a lot more on being hydrated and not drinking, and you know what I'm saying, being smarter about what I eat. Funny enough,
Yo,
and
you know, that is
made a
so cool.
difference.
That is
Yeah, it made a
so
big
cool, man,
difference.
because I did the same thing. I was I had just turned 21. I tapped the bottle and I pull up in 2000, I pull up in 99, and once I stopped drinking and started focusing on like my goals, then that's when I stayed healthy.
Right.
Yeah. Oh
It's all
man.
health,
Wow.
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
really, that it's not and it's never spoken about. For one, people don't want to hear about excuses, but for two,
Right.
people don't realize how big of an impact an injury can have in track, especially because you're dealing with hundredths and tenths
Hundred
of a
a
second.
second.
So
Yes.
this is huge. Small injuries can have these enormous impacts. You're not going to gut your way through certain things because at a certain level, like those hundredths mean more. So like being healthy is usually the downfall or it's getting in the way of a lot of people being as good as they could be. Not because they're slow per se, it's because they can't stay
You
healthy
said
enough
hamstrings.
to be faster.
Yeah,
Hell
somebody
yeah,
in the
Habs.
comments said hamstrings. Yeah, they go right to the hamstrings, brother.
Man. That's the
Yeah.
ones we hear about the most. Hamstrings obviously is a big one, but I mean there's so many things that can go wrong. But
Yeah.
hamstrings is just
Yeah. So
man.
now what motivated you to become a successful blogger or content creator? What motivated you?
Uh you know, I used to watch a lot of video um of Ben and a lot of video of Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
and CBC was always the broadcaster, and they
Mm-hmm.
used to do a really, really good job of presenting track and field, whether it was
Mm-hmm.
Worlds, whether it was Olympics, and on NBC and CBS, you guys used to present a lot of really good track meets too. So I always really liked track and field when it was presented really well. I was fascinated by the commentators breaking stuff down and how it looked and the features. You know, they do those features on different athletes or building
Yeah.
up rivalries and the stories. I just always
Yes.
liked that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, broadcasting kind of it was never I never expected to be in broadcasting though. It just happened because 2012 um, I was supposed to go to another Olympics, got injured, and CBC caught wind that I was in town because I wasn't going. And they were like,
Okay.
"Hey, why don't you come and do some analysis?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I can do that, I think." And then when I went and did it, I realized I was like, "Yes, I can do this. It's kind of cool." So I
Mm-hmm.
started asking some questions around like, "Well, I want to do more of this, so like, put me on TV more." And they were kind of like,
Yeah.
"Well, you're gonna have to get a background in broadcasting before you come on a international broadcaster. So if
Okay.
you go to broadcasting school, come back and we'll talk about it." And I went to broadcasting school. They took on two interns. I was one of them. And then, so really, basically, I got into CBC and broadcasting because I got injured at the Olympic trials. If I didn't get injured, I wouldn't be in broadcasting. Probably
Wow.
would have went to the games and probably still tried to run till the wheels fell off. But I might have probably
Mm,
gone that route. But it kind of put
mm.
me in that position. Like, yeah, so I had my
So
accident
thank
really.
thank goodness for the hamstring pull.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Trayvon, you just got here.
Oh
Don't
man.
start, dog. Don't. What do you say?
Hey
Don't leave me
Trayvon,
shit.
what's up, brother?
My boy up
So
here
so
looking like a blue pill. Oh, he's talking about you.
oh it's about me. Oh man. Hey man. Hey man, I'm just rocking my brand. You know, this is a BW Pro
Yeah, that shit is
Techniques.
tight, yo.
Thank you,
I was
man.
thinking about that, yo.
I'm
Let me
working.
buy one of those off you. I snowboard, yo. I'd rock that.
I got you, brother. I got
Yeah,
him. I'm gonna give you the link, and I got more
yeah.
merch coming. But
You're
yeah, so
nice.
what do you think the game of track and field is missing right now?
Oh, um,
Somebody said Captain American Shiesty. Yo, the kids, look, I'll be at school, right? Coaching the kids and middle schoolers, high school. Hey man, let me get one of them Pooh Shiesty masks. I'm like, who the hell is Pooh Shiesty? I don't know no damn Pooh Shiesty. Anybody named Shiesty is not taking my daughter out on a date. But yeah, they call them the Pooh Shiesties, man.
for real.
So you can get them. I got the link. You can get them on BW Pro Techniques. They're $15. I charge an extra 10 for shipping, so they're $25. And yeah, I'll ship them out. Anybody who want to purchase a BW Pro Techniques Pooh Shiesty ski mask, holla at me. But
Nice.
yeah, so what do you think is missing, brother?
Someone just said nude female events in old school Greek style. That's very disrespectful.
Just though,
That's
he's
very
a comedian.
disrespectful. Oh, for real. That's funny, though. That's really funny. Okay, what's it
Yeah,
missing?
yeah.
Okay, let me say kind of basic. It's missing structure. I think it's an issue that if we're still pundits and we've already been through the game, we can't even describe clearly what it what a professional track and field athlete is. I think that's a problem. And I feel
Mm,
like if you're going to compete with organizations like what we were talking about earlier with the NFL,
mm-hmm.
you at least have to have structure. That's why Tyreek is a big deal coming to the track and field space because he's a part of an organization that has structure. It has prestige. So it's like,
Mm,
oh,
oh,
this guy is coming into our trash
mm,
setup. And it's a thing because of that. When in actuality, like we have to like the track and field. it's funny what that guy said. Track and field, while it's evolved into wearing clothes, it
Hmm.
hasn't evolved since like them them Greek days. It's
You
basically the
don't
same
think?
thing.
I
Not
think it's
really.
evolved.
Aside from blocks and
From
spikes,
the blocks, the spikes, the tracks,
that way, yes. But as
the
far as
the
presentation,
uniforms, the
as far as
uniforms,
presentation, uniforms, yeah, of
yeah,
course,
uniform.
that stuff, all that stuff, yeah,
Now,
for
the
sure.
two things that I think they really need to pick up on, you probably laugh at, is they really need to find a better way to put bibs on.
Yeah,
They have a piece
that's
of paper and safety pins. You know what I
and
mean?
and
Like,
and and lane the lane numbers,
yeah,
the hip
like
numbers. So
I
the bibs and the hip
right.
numbers. What is
Yes, yes.
why
I
is
think
that
they
even
need
a
to
thing?
step their game up. But also, I was
But
watching the high school nationals, right? And there was a kid that broke the 5,000 record for high schoolers. And when he was running, they had the lights light up where his feet
right,
was running, all the way around the
right.
track. And they had they had the fireworks going when he was running. I think more of those things. I think that we need more of that and
I think
excitement
that'd be
for
tight,
track and field. And I
especially in the
think
distance events.
right, right. And I was just looking, I said, oh my God, that's the pace that the record is at, and he's in front of it.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
thought that was so
I like
awesome.
that.
So, in my opinion, I think that we have evolved in different ways, but we can evolve a little bit more.
I'm talking about from I'm talking about from
From a money
when I say
marketing payment to
from
athletes
from
perspective,
an organizational standpoint,
yes,
like
yes, I
there
agree.
there there's nothing that's revolutionary as far as how track and field is handling the athletes and handling how the athletes are being presented to the world. Nothing has
Now,
changed.
now does
It's
track and field have a union?
no, but you've been talking about this for a while. No, it doesn't.
I think track and field should start a union. And I remember talking to you. I said
Yeah,
it all starts with two people. It could be you and I, right? We had this
right.
conversation, but I
Yeah.
just believe to add to what you're saying, not disagreeing, but if we on an organized organizational standpoint, I think track and field should have a union. And I think the more people that run now that are on top of the game, your Trayvon Brumels, your Fred Curleys, everybody who's winning, Noah Lyles, the coaches, the officials, and more important, the people that are getting paid in the top spots. I think they should be organizing a union so that when athletes retire, they can have, like you said, health insurance, dental insurance, discounts, and things of that nature. Unlimited supply of Olympic gear if you're an Olympian, like things like that. Um, I just believe that we can evolve, but us having conversations like this can help people to make those decisions who are the gatekeepers.
Yeah, I think the pieces are there. I just I just don't feel like I just don't feel like I've heard analogies of being served a steak on a on some crystal as opposed to being served on the top of a garbage can. And I think that I think that's what it is. The steak is there. Like there's so many amazing things about track and field, right? But it doesn't matter because if it's not presented properly, it's just it's not going to be appetizing. So I think that more emphasis needs to be put into, you know, making it presentable. I think that's what it is, making it connect. That's what I'm thinking about. Making connect with the public in an evolving society. And as society evolves, the way it's presented and and the culture has to evolve with
Right.
society. And track and field isn't doing that. And there seems to be no intention to do that. And that's basically why I try to do what I do and why I'm trying to get into the different benches I'm trying to get into from a track and field standpoint
And I see
because
that, and
I can see it.
you are a reliable source of information and dedication to help the sport. You're not harming the sport. You're not trying to take down or batter the sport. Like, that's why I respect you, and you've motivated me to create good content so that the right person do hear and that can make the decision. You know, speaking of that, an organizational talk. What is your opinion about college athletes and the NIL?
I love it because what an organization is going to do to keep itself secure is try to save money as much as possible. The best way to save money is to, if there's no alternatives for the people that you're in charge of. So if
Mm-hmm.
track athletes have no alternatives,
Mm-hmm.
then they can nickel and dime however they see fit, whether it's in the NCAA or whether it's professionally, right? Now with the NIL and these athletes being able to get money elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
the NCAA they have to pivot. They have to do more to be able to keep athletes interested in even being in the NCAA, because if they don't even need to do that, they can make money elsewhere, or they can, make enough money to be able to pay for their own education as opposed to do what they have to do to get a scholarship. And what, they don't need the NCAA no more. So the NCAA is going to they got to step up. So
Well,
as far
I
as
think
that,
they are
I
stepping up.
like it.
They
Yeah,
are allowing them to not only negotiate contracts, but they also allowing them to have multiple sponsors,
right.
which is something that Nike and Adidas did not allow at some point. Like, once you signed a Nike or Adidas
For
deal or
pros,
any shoe deal, you were
right.
not allowed to get sponsorship for anybody. So I'm just adding on to what you're saying, that,
Yeah,
when you said it's great, I believe so too, because I can even sponsor certain athletes and make sure that they got plane tickets if I want to. Not because Nike said, "Oh no, this is our athlete." Like, I can sponsor people through my company. So I think it's great, and I just think eventually on the pro circuit, I think they're going to learn from the NIL. They can learn a few things, even though they're supposed to be a step down. It's a business, and
right.
they are winning. None of those people are running world records, and they are more financially stable than most of the professional athletes.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's just an alternative, right? Once some
Right.
alternatives present themselves, then World Athletics got to step up. They
Yeah.
gotta they gotta pivot. But they don't got no reason to pivot right now, Doc. It's
No, no, and they
it's
shouldn't.
the
This is
athletes ain't
how you
going
want.
nowhere,
Like, this is how you
and
want. Like, if you had a kid in the university of whatever, this is what you want for them. They're not calling you home talking about, "Mama, could you send me a couple dollars for some
yeah,
top ramen? Mama, I don't have no money for this." Like, they don't have to go through that. And you wasn't allowed to work when you actually competed on a scholarship. You were not allowed to work,
right, right,
you know? Yeah,
right.
man. So, all right, I got another question for you, man.
Hmm.
Does the beard make a difference in speed?
I think it does, yeah. I didn't have this when I competed. Well, you
I
already know.
know, I know,
But
but I want you to say it
yeah,
to the
yeah, no,
people.
yeah. I didn't have this when I competed, ladies and gentlemen. I just got this maybe 3 years now, I think. Um, but think about it though. Think about it though. Have you seen a medalist in the 100 with a beard?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Have you seen a medalist in the 100 with dreads?
No,
No.
no. You know what? Marcel Jacobs, he had a 3 o'clock, a 12 o'clock shadow.
Oh, yeah, I don't count. I need a beard. I need to see a beard. I need to see a beard, yeah. I need to see a beard. Yeah, I haven't
Right,
seen
but
no
he did
beards or
not
no
have a
dreads,
beard.
dog.
No dreads.
So
Right. So it
what
makes a
Noah
difference.
has right now, would that be considered dreads? What Noah has
Ooh,
right
you
now?
know what? He has cornrows. I don't see him
His
being a
cornrows.
champion. Yeah, he has cornrows. Yeah, I don't see him being a champion with those
Oh,
cornrows. If he cut those
Johan had some
cornrows back six
twists.
five, would go to 6'4" if he cut the cornrows.
Someone said Johan. Johan had some twists. I don't know if I
Oh, you
count
know
them
what? He had
dreads, but
cornrows as well. He had cornrows as well. But he's a
Johan.
world champ. He's not an Olympic champ. That was a good guess.
Still though, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, man. But
Now I got another question, my brother.
uh,
How do you feel about athletes celebrating before they win the race? How do you feel about that?
I prefer it.
You prefer it?
Yeah. I
You
don't
don't
really
think
care
that's
too much about.
sportsmanship, or you not like want to see your athlete maximize and see what he really
Nah,
could
man.
run?
We gotta entertain, man. We gotta entertain. If you
I'm the
like, I think
same
it should be
way.
more about win. Like you won, man. So win in like a dominating fashion. Like the casual fan, they understand that 9 is fast, but in the majority of events, they don't know what fast is on the clock. They just know that
Well, they
someone
know
won
when
by far.
you.
Right. They know someone won by far or someone, well, whatever you did to make them feel something, right? And people are gonna feel something when you entertain. So if you back off or you do some pointing to the crowd or you do whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to do when you're winning, that's
Now,
what's
I,
gonna impact people.
okay. Now I remember you, bro. You was like a silent assassin. You didn't really talk shit to people. Let's just say, hypothetically, Noah Lyles is running the 200, and you about to win, and he looks over and hits you with the boom. Would you
Okay,
would you still feel the way that you feel, and would you like that?
okay, let me say this though. I wasn't fast enough to really be talking. This
But
is the
if
thing.
you did, if it
In
was you,
general, when I'm good at
would you have liked
something,
that?
when I'm good at something, I let people know and I let people around me know. So if I was,
Right.
people would know. So I get and understand when people do that and make it known. I think that that's, and I think that that's okay. I think it's part of the game, right? So
Fair enough.
as far as Noah doing it, I like what he's
Hmm.
doing, but I feel like he did it with Arion in the 200. Arion was younger and
He went
200 isn't.
19-4. He
Yes,
went
he ran 19.4.
19-4.
He runs like a grown man, but he
Right.
is he is a young man. So to be able to do that, talking with him, it's different than coming into the 100-meter world
He
with
don't do that
with
in 100.
what he did with Trayvon at New Balance when he beat him in the
Yeah.
60, which I feel it was.
Yeah.
I like
Did you
it.
like that?
I like it from entertaining standpoint. From an entertainment standpoint, I like it. I don't know yet if he's ready to wake up 100-meter animals in that respect because 100-meter
Mm,
people are different. They're it's like superhuman egos and
mm,
superhuman aggressiveness and animosity and
yes.
cutthroatness. That's
Mm,
the 100. So if you're going to do that in the 100 world, it's not the same as doing it with Arion in the deuce.
yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it's
I
not.
know what you
So
mean.
now I'm not saying he can't deal with it. I'm just saying that he needs to understand that this isn't anything he's ever been um, come in contact with. So he may be in for a big surprise. You see what Christian did to him at Milrose?
I saw that.
Like that was just a little taste, Pause. Like we
Yeah.
don't know what other people are gonna. We don't know what's gonna happen if he gets on the track with Fred. What they're gonna try to do. We don't know what Trayvon's gonna do the next time he gets on the track with Noah. Like
Mhm,
we Marvin's watching from afar. Um,
mhm,
Marcel knows this guy's talking. Like people are aware that he's out to try and embarrass them. So
mhm.
when given the opportunity, this is going to be on their minds. So they're going to step their
I think
games
it
up for
helps.
one,
I think it helped to step the game up.
100%, and for
Yeah.
two, they're gonna try and fuck with his head when they beat him. What Christian did to
Mm.
him was very disrespectful. Oh, I
Now?
loved
What did
it.
Christian do? I saw the race, but what did he really do?
He
'Cause
did
I
the
thought he handled it with
he did the
class.
cross in the line. He was
I mean,
crossing the line and
that's
did the shh.
look. Justin Gatlin did it too.
No, but he did that
Dude
to the
held them
crowd.
both.
He did that to the
No,
crowd.
no, he did, but he did it, and he looked like an angry librarian. because he was like he wanted. It looked like Justin Gatlin, an angry librarian. Yes, he looked like he wanted to tell the crowd, "F everybody in here."
No, no, he
I
did.
thought it was hilarious. I thought it was
It
hilarious, but
was.
it's the same. It's
But
the
Christian
same
did it
gesture.
directly to Noah. It was directly to Noah. Like, stop talking, dog. This is what will happen. Stop.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so, and that's just Christian. Like, I
right.
don't know what kind of backflips Trayvon's gonna do when he gets on the track with Emil.
You know what? When I look at Trayvon Brumell compete, he competes with a lot of class. He doesn't
Yeah,
talk trash to people like that. He just say, "Yo, man, I'm just coming out here to do my thing." Like, and he handles himself as like a professional. He doesn't talk trash.
yeah. But the thing is, what people don't understand about with Trayvon. Okay, let me break Trayvon down for you. Right?
All
Trayvon is
right,
obviously a devout Christian, right? But
okay,
Trayvon has
and I see
chosen
that.
that life. Trayvon has chosen that life because there's a person inside of him that he's really not trying to be. There's something
Mhm.
he's devout in that world because there's a side of him that he does not want to associate with.
Exposed.
It's not, yeah,
Okay.
and this is the battle that he has inside of him. You should be happy that he's a devout Christian because
Yes.
the other
Right.
side of him that he knows is there, you don't want, he doesn't even want. So
Right.
as far as poking at that and prodding at that, I don't think it's a good
Somebody
idea. He
said.
seems like the soft Christian
Somebody.
guy.
Hey, he said Deacon Trey needs to let the wrath out.
Deacon Trey? Yo, Deacon Trey is
Deacon Trey.
crazy. Deacon Trey is crazy, dog. But those are the ones you got to worry about. The ones that are
Right.
trying
The
to.
quiet ones. The very
Let me make
quiet
sure.
ones.
And I better hold on to this Bible because I'm not. I'm not. I'm
Yeah, I
not.
made it explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what people need. That's how people need to be viewing the situation as
Right.
far as that's concerned. So I don't. I don't know what's gonna happen when Trayvon gets to race Noah again. Noah says he's all
Mhm.
hyped for it, but are
Yeah.
you hyped for it? Maybe you are.
I
Maybe
am
Noah's
because
built for this,
I like
dog.
almost like WWF wrestling. I don't know if you remember that back in the day, where it was Raw's War every Monday. They talking shit the whole week,
And I
and then
love
you
it.
can't wait to see who wins.
I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
think this is great, and I think that it brings more excitement, it brings more rivalry, and it lets people know who these people are who
Hmm.
have a problem, or it looks like they have a problem. At the end of the day, they all see each other in breakfast, dap each other up. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Whoop de whoop. But I think that when they do stuff like that, it may look bad to some, but for other people, it brings entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah,
And people start to become like a thing about wrestling is that you become engaged with people's personalities, and then
right,
people start connecting with whichever wrestler they like. So the same thing
right,
can happen in the sprints. Like I actually feel
right,
like I'm connected to this person now. I have a vested interest in Noah now, or in Trayvon now, or in Marcel now because of the way they were talking shit or the way that
Fred Shirley
they've
and
let me
Marvin
into who they
Bracy.
are. Yes,
Right.
I've connected to
Sydney,
them, so now
Sydney
I'm
McLarkin.
invested.
Now look, Sydney doesn't say much.
Sydney's holding back. She's holding
She lets her
back,
feet do the talking. Her face says everything. Her face and her feet.
but it doesn't say enough. Her
What
face,
do you mean? A
it
world
doesn't say
record?
enough. Yeah, but
What world record?
we're
What like
track
four,
we're
what
track
four?
junkies.
Four maybe? Huh?
We're track junkies. We know what she's doing is phenomenal.
Right.
But to a okay, do you remember when
Intro music. Yes, intro music is good too. I think they should
that's a
do
good
more.
idea.
I
Do you
think
remember when
Noah Lyles actually does he? I think he produces music.
he raps?
I think he does music. He raps. I think
Yeah.
that's great. I think him putting his own music out there, because I'm a firm believer. I have music myself. I wish I did music when I was running, but I was too busy trying to keep a contract. But I think the things that Noah is doing and the others are doing, I think is great for the sport.
Yeah, but Sydney's not doing
I
Sydney's just
think
running fast.
I think what she's growing. She's growing because she came in this thing at 16 doing great. and she was bubbly eyed, and then she felt the wrath of haters and people that just wasn't
I
on her
think, is that
side.
what it is? That may be what it is.
Yeah,
This is.
in my
I
opinion,
think a
in
lot
my
of people
opinion,
misunderstand. I think a lot of people misunderstand
yeah, because she was open when she
how I
first
come
came
at
through.
Sydney, and I
Hmm.
shouldn't even call it coming at her. I'm basically just evaluate the way I evaluate Sydney. Sydney used to be very
Bubbly.
she yeah, she was great
She
on
was happy.
camera, loved
She
to
was 16,
engage,
15.
a
Yeah,
great personality. My
right.
issue is there's something going on in her life that has changed that.
It's
I'm
called
concerned.
focus. It's
No,
called
it's not that.
focus.
It's not that.
Focus is called world
It's not
records.
that. It's
Have
not
you ever
that, man.
seen? All right.
It's
Here's one
not
thing.
that.
Don't get mad at me. Here we go. You ever seen Bob Kersey coach anybody?
Yeah.
Have you? No. Have you seen him coach?
Yeah, I have.
All right. Bob Kersey is a no nonsense dude.
Yeah.
I've seen him talk
Curse is in
to
his
Olympic.
name.
Yes, Kersey. Like I've seen him say, "Bitch, you better get up and get going because
Yeah.
we got to win this shit." I've seen it. And you know what that woman did? She got her ass up and she won that shit. So if you're being coached by somebody who's that focused, that raw, right? You don't have time to be smiling at people and being bubbly. You got to get the job done. And I just feel that that could
Well,
be part of the
if
reason
that's the
why you don't
case,
see her smiling.
if that's
I
the
just been
case,
disrespected. I just been disrespected.
well, if that's the case, I'm not in favor of how he coaches because I don't feel like an athlete like Sydney. I don't feel like look it. It's not like he made Sydney who she is. She came to him as a phenom. So
Right.
as far as him doing that, I don't think he's taking her to another place. Now maybe she's the type of person that needs to be challenged.
No, but
Maybe
the
she's the type of person
mentality.
that needs to maybe it's the type of person that needs to be prodded or got at like that. I don't know. But
Right.
all I'm saying is the person she is and that's presenting herself to the world
Hmm.
seems broken. And I'm not
Listen,
for that.
you ever heard of
I'm
Ike
not
and
for that.
Tina?
If it's
You ever heard of
yeah,
Ike and Tina? You ever heard of Eat the Cake anime? You ever seen that movie?
eat the cake
When every
anime, no.
time you got to pull it from here, she was like, ah, like she had infinite hit records. Not saying that Sydney is Tina Turner and and Bob Kersey is Ike, but what I'm saying is when you have a certain level of toughness coaching you, you don't have time to be everybody's friend. You're on a mission to do what you need to
So you
do.
don't have time to enjoy it. You don't have time to enjoy breaking world records.
When she finishes, she go home to her.
She doesn't look like she enjoys what she's like the moment. If the moment means that much to you, you're not going to be
Mhm.
able to control your emotions in that moment.
That's
Now,
what happened to me. I know that shit. You're right.
so she's not. There's something she doesn't have it in her to be able to enjoy the amazing feats that she is accomplishing. And if you can't enjoy what she is doing, what she's doing is what every person has a goal of doing, breaking world records repeatedly.
Right.
This is the
Winning
pinnacle.
Olympics, winning the
She's not
world
enjoying
championship.
this. So she's not
She
enjoying this. What's the
is.
point?
Maybe that's her persona to us.
No, she's not
And
enjoying
here's
it.
the thing. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you need an interview, an exclusive interview with Sydney, so
No, I
we
would
can
love to
get
talk to
down.
Sydney. I would love to
You
talk to Sydney.
understand? That's what I think
Yeah,
we need. Yeah, I
I
think you
would.
need an exclusive interview to
I would.
ask these
I would
questions.
love to. I would love to enjoy it. I would love to enjoy it. I would love to. I'm reading Trayvon's comment.
And
I would love to talk
you
to
all
Sydney about
know,
this because everyone's
yeah,
forgetting. Everyone's forgetting. While Trayvon brings up her boat in Milan, everyone's forgetting the day after she broke the world record, she went on Instagram Live and broke down uncontrollable tears, pleading for her sanity, basically, and
yes,
pleading
yo,
for the
you know
fact that
how
she is
crazy.
not enjoying track,
Yo,
she's not
that's
enjoying
real.
life.
That is real. This is a
Obviously,
psychological
there is
thing going
something
on.
wrong. There is something
Yes.
wrong. I feel like
No, it's
she
not
is.
wrong. Maybe she's dealing with the
Oh
psychological
man,
and the
look it.
physical. That's why you need an interview, bro.
In my opinion, there's something wrong. Someone that's doing feats like that doesn't break down in the way that she broke down, and I'm concerned. That's where
But
I'm at
until
with
we
it.
break world records like her, we will never understand. She's on a whole nother level of pushing herself beyond herself.
Look, man, all I know is there's something going on. There's no way
Well,
that you can accomplish what she's dealing with or accomplish what she's accomplishing, and just not have any type of emotion about it.
You know
Is something
what? Well,
wrong?
I just think
And
you
maybe
need
there's
an
nothing
interview,
wrong, but
buddy.
it appears like
I
something's
can't
wrong.
wait. Look, I want to interview with Sydney. I'm gonna ask her these questions because I
Hold on
don't
a second.
necessarily
Wait,
think
time it.
something is
Hold
wrong.
on. Trayvon. Why would I be concerned? Let me make this very clear. Why would I be concerned about Sydney being married? I'm married.
Oh,
Now, if that's your anger you're coming from, let's clear that up right now. Because
oh, I
look at,
see it. I see it.
let me make this very clear before we move on. I'm concerned as a person watching, a person
Hmm.
that's supposed to be the figure of the sport. Sydney is the queen of the sport. Okay? And she is not enjoying it. It's very obvious. That's a problem to me. It's very clear. Now people can try and deny that it's a big deal. It's very odd to me that someone could be doing what she's doing
All right, and
and
here's
not
another
enjoying
thing.
it.
All right, here's the thing. I've always been told that people who are married or who have families, they tend to fall off. And the reason being is because other things are more of a priority. Your family is number one now. World
I think
records is
men.
not number one. So maybe she's married now, and what Trayvon was saying, maybe she's married, and being married have changed her.
Change her to what? Not
Changed her to a
smiling,
world record. No, a
not
world a
smiling when
world
you break
record
a world record.
a world record holder, somebody who's handling their business, and they can't wait till they're done so they can get back to their family.
But all right, let me ask you something. What could keep you from smiling after breaking a world record?
Them testing me for weed. I'm like, oh damn, y'all still test for that shit? Damn, I'll be messed
Okay,
up, huh?
aside from that's obvious. Say there's
Aside
no
from that,
positive tests.
um, I
Say there's
mean,
no
if
positive tests.
okay, all right, after breaking the world record, where okay, oh, thank you for this question. Not being able to wild out, not being able to go to the parties and take as many shots as I want, not being able to hang out with whoever I want to, not being able to go on stage and talk about certain things because it may offend some people now that I'm a world record holder. All those
Okay, so
things that I used to want to do and be free, I no longer can do that now. And so that would make me a little sad the minute I break the world record, but I can't celebrate like I want to.
so you think that it's she's holding back because she's um she's not able to express herself in the way that's
She wants
uh,
to.
she wants to. So because she can't celebrate in the way she wants to, or maybe she feels like, or it's been positioned for her to feel like the way she has celebrated in the past isn't the right way to do it. And
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
maybe
Yes. She's not
I think
celebrating
that's
like
a
she
problem.
wants to.
I think
Yeah,
that's a problem.
because you become
People hear me
you
talk
spend your
and they think
whole
I'm
life.
putting it on her. Yeah, they think I'm
Mhm.
putting it on her. I'm not putting it on her. I'm saying the situation isn't right. Something is wrong. I Sydney has all the tools, Doug. She has
You hear
everything.
what Trayvon said?
What do you say?
It's a
This
gospel
is
thing, bro. The
the word
word
says your
says
treasures,
treasure is where your
our
heart
accolades are
is,
great, but a mental
but
status
the
is
mental
where our heart
status
is.
is where your heart is.
Okay, I'll respond like this, Trayvon, since we're gonna do the religion thing. I don't feel like, and this is I'm not as religious as you. Let me just talk. It's what I consider logic. I don't feel like God would give someone a talent for them to not share with the world and let them feel something. I don't feel like like they would endow her with something that could impact lives positively, inspirationally, motivationally, for her to just shrug her shoulders and walk off the track when she does one of the most amazing feats a human can do. Personally, I don't feel like God would be okay with that. I feel like you're given
Mm,
something, a talent that He has given you and graced you with. You're supposed to you're supposed to share that is supposed to impact people in positive ways. I don't feel
facts.
like that's happening.
But you don't know
It's
who's
shining.
influencing her. You don't know who's influencing her, who's talking to her. They got media people to tell you not to do certain things or not to wear certain things. You
That's
know,
another thing. Trayvon said, the word says, shine your light
You're
so they can see the glory of God. Not
right,
her, but God. Trayvon, they're not
right.
seeing God right now, okay? Let me be frank. Let me be frank. They're not seeing God. They're not seeing anything. They're seeing a girl, they're seeing a woman doing these feats, walking off the track with no emotion. They're not seeing
All
God.
right. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Alice and Felix had smiles all day. They have the same coach. And you know what people said when she smiled and was just happy every single time? She's boring. She's boring. Beautiful
Uh,
teeth, you know, just boring. And so there's no win. Whether she has a mean mug or whether she smiles, there's no win. There's no perfect way for her to be the champion that everybody wants her to be, in my opinion. There's no
yeah,
win.
people still said she was boring, for sure. But
Right.
at least, I've never seen
Nobody said,
Allison
oh, look
be.
at that smile.
But I've never seen Allison be, well, except for on her Instagram. She's actually kind of funny. She likes to dance and do shit. But in general, I've
Yeah.
never seen
Yeah.
her. I've never seen her do much that's,
Right. But what I'm saying is
in
there's
the
no
public eye.
win.
Sydney was a public person. Sydney was
Right,
outgoing. She
but
was very
remember, she had
personable.
the haters. People was attacking her way before she broke the work record, and so I
Attacking
know
who?
just from
So,
my
so
own
you think that they're
personal
not
experience.
celebrating because they don't want to be attacked?
No, I'm just saying. I think when she don't celebrate, it's like my job is done. Let me focus. Like I've been around Maurice for about a year and a half, and I watched him. Hear me out. Hear me out. He didn't. He didn't really enjoy, in my opinion, his success. The minute he got finished the Olympics, I'm like, dude, let's party, bro. Let's party. I got a medal with you. You got a medal. We in LA. Let's party. And you know what that man was thinking about? Shit, I got to get ready. I got to try and break this record again. Like, he would just be ready. He would win another race. Boom, 981. Man, I got to get ready. I'm like, dude, let's party. Nah, I ain't got time to party. That's what y'all do in second, third, and fourth. I got to get ready. So I remember that GOAT mentality that he had. Now,
Well, I hear
when he
that,
got
but
on the track, he was moving his head, licking his tongue all around and shit, all that bullshit that I hated so much because he kick our ass with it. He was doing that. But behind the closed doors, me being his training partner, seeing him every day, that man was so focused on the next race because somebody's trying to kick his ass that's bigger and stronger than him. And he
but
just
I'm I'm
kept
not
winning. He
talking about
kept
life
winning.
off I'm not talking about life off the track though. I agree with what you're saying. Life off the
But
track
it
and
makes a
partying.
difference in what
I'm
your
talking about when you cross
mentality
the
on the
line.
track.
No,
Hmm?
Maurice is a good example because Maurice was focused, just like as you're
Yeah, he
saying,
was
and
focused.
but when he crossed
Yeah,
the line, there's emotions that you feel that you're not going to be able to control when you do something, when you accomplish a great feat on the track. It
right.
doesn't
Like
mean
pull out the fire
because you don't
extinguisher.
celebrate, it doesn't mean that you're any more focused than anyone else
Right,
on the
right.
next task.
Maybe
The
she's
natural
into
reaction
the
would be
yeah, but
to
maybe.
show something.
But
Now
you know what? Some people.
Trayvon's here saying, look at Julian Alfred, what she did. She gave glory to who? In her interview, she probably gave glory to God, but at least when she crossed the line, you see natural emotion. I'm not
Yeah,
Trayvon, you know Sydney, so maybe you know something I don't. But what I'm
bro.
saying is it doesn't seem normal for someone to accomplish feats like that and to the following day be having a nervous breakdown on Instagram Live.
Anson, you've never run the 400 hurdles like she did, bro. Do you know how much energy it take to run the 400 hurdles? You
I've
lucky she
seen
don't
people
lay
celebrate
down.
after a 5,000.
No, but when you break,
I've seen her
she's a
celebrate
world,
before. I've seen her celebrate
bro.
before.
She before, but now what I'm saying is her
She's
mind was
more tired.
focused. No, she's more focused, bro, on the next world record
I
and the
don't think that's
next
what it
one.
is. I don't think that's what it is. Personally, I
You don't
don't.
think so?
No, I don't think that's what it is.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move from another. I'm gonna move to another topic. So, how do you give back to the community with what we're doing? Like, how do you give back to your community?
Um, I feel like the majority of people that like have the broadcaster background I do, or the skill set that I
Hmm.
have,
Yes.
would go to, jump on opportunities that are easy money, right? I do some side contracts just to stay, just to get some sort of income. But in general, I've I'm kind of directing my skill set towards bringing the sport to where it needs to be at this stage. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
Yeah.
I could do it. If there's no if nothing's coming out of it, and people aren't on board, whether it's athletes, whether it's partnerships I make, or if it doesn't seem to be going in the right direction, obviously I know I did what I could. I'll get to a point where I know I did what I could to save the sport, right? But
Yes.
um, yeah, I don't feel like anyone with my skill set has actually tried to get the sport to where it needs to be. And I'm not just talking about the content I make. Really, the content I make is just that's the smallest of what I'm doing right now.
Mm.
Like the majority of stuff I'm doing isn't necessarily going to get the attention that my content will,
Hmm.
but the impact is going to be a lot bigger. You hear a little few whispers about what I got
You
going on,
don't you
but
don't think? Wait a minute. So you don't think your content is helping the sport?
no, I
Because
do,
I
I do, but
disagree. I have to disagree with you on that.
oh no, I agree. I do feel like it's helping, but it's just not. It's not my
I don't think it's a
priority.
small piece. I think it's a major piece. Like the people that you interview and the viewpoints that you have, it creates great conversation for other people on other
I,
platforms.
I appreciate that. I agree. I agree. It's not the main priority right now for me, as far as,
Gotcha.
because there's more to it than that needs to be done than just the content. And I have a lot more um, capabilities within not only like content creation, but just as far as like forming relationships and creating deals and stuff like that,
Yes.
in order to get track to become more of a business, as opposed to whatever the fuck it is right now. What is
Cool.
track doing
Now,
right now?
right, right. So, for the final question, what words do you have for young athletes with track and field football, well, for young athletes who are trying to get into being successful bloggers? Like, what advice do you have for them to, kind of help them get to the next level?
Just make stuff, man. I think that people get caught up in things being too perfect right at the beginning, and it's not going to be perfect at the beginning. Really, the, the, what's really going to get it to happen is if you have confidence in if you have confidence in what you're doing, and also um, enough fortitude to actually just get started, because it's not going to be good at the beginning. Nothing is, but
Mm.
it's always going to get better as long as you just, you know, can maintain a level of resilience and belief. Um, it's almost like anything. It'll get better, and it won't be what it was when it started. The more you do it, I think a lot of creators get caught up in, well, it's not going to be as good as this, or it's going to take too much time, or I don't want to learn how to do this, or I don't want to
Mm.
ask someone to do that. And there's going to be some no's. There's going to be some trash content in the early stages. It's going to be a learning curve. Um, but every good broadcaster or creator went through that phase. So you'll look at old content of Joe Rogan and be like, the fuck is that? You look at
Mm.
old content of anybody. And like even these guys, look at some old stuff of Addo when he first started being on air. It
Hmm.
sucked. Look at him now, but he didn't stop. He didn't stop.
Yes.
He just and
Well,
he,
I
he
always thought, you know what? I trained with Otto for a year, and Otto has always been that person who was close into detail, knowing about the wind rate, the wind gauge. He's always been that
right,
way. So
yeah.
I don't even really see the progression in what he does because he's always been a knowledgeable person
But
and
that's the
said the
thing.
right thing. A little sarcastic, maybe,
No,
Um,
true.
but his sarcasm is hilarious, and I just think
And that's the thing, right?
his
You'll
timing
see
is
someone with the
impeccable.
tools. You'll see someone with the
Yes,
tools, but actually presenting the tools, they're not going to be good at the beginning. He's become good now, but natural
yes,
tools, you can see it and hear it when he
yeah.
talks, obviously, right?
But
Um,
but you come from the background of knowledge too, so your standards are different from mine, and that I respect that. And he's mad intelligent. You're right. I've
yeah,
seen him
Adam's
do
doing his thing, Doug.
yeah, I've
Adam's
seen
doing
him
his
do
thing.
a broadcast where he just spoke French only.
Really,
Everything was
he's a
in
smart guy.
French. Yeah, yeah.
I like
So
Adam, man.
yeah, man.
I just
But
the
yeah,
only thing
but
that's getting in the way of Adam right now is he isn't always
yeah,
able to be himself,
yeah.
which
But
I
this is
feel like I
about
bring that
you.
out of him.
Yeah, but
It is
this
right,
is
right.
your interview.
Gotcha.
This is about
Sorry,
you.
Adam. Yeah, sorry, Adam.
No, it's okay.
It's
It's
about me.
okay, Otto. Hey,
It's
much
about me.
shouts out to Otto. Bold and
Yeah, yeah.
much respect. But yeah, we're talking about you, and you're one of the best podcasters, one of the best
Appreciate that,
bloggers,
man.
one of the best content creators out there. So
Appreciate that,
thank you for
man.
giving me your time, my brother. And
And of course,
I
and
look
yo,
forward to
keep doing your thing, dog. Yo, I even told you, you got crazy tools, dog. You're
man. I
funny.
will, brother.
You don't you're not afraid. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You just say what's on your mind. And obviously, even with how we started with the realist. That didn't work out. But I
right.
felt like you had the tools to continue it and still bring it into something. And you're on the journey, dog. You just gotta keep going,
So
yo.
I'm gonna keep doing it,
You're a
man. But
natural
I want to
entertainer,
thank
dog.
you.
You're a natural entertainer. So
Oh man, thank you,
you
man.
just need to stick with it, dog. Yeah.
Man, I
You just gotta
appreciate it.
find your
Well, thank
groove, yo.
you
You
for
just
giving
gotta
me
find your
your time, man.
groove.
Thank you, man. But yeah,
Yeah.
that is the message from the Canadian Sensation Anson Henry for all the younger folks out there who want to transition from being professional track athletes to successful bloggers, successful. That's terrible. I'm sorry. I got to do that over. Successful bloggers, successful podcasters, successful journalists. And thank you for tuning in for Stay in Your Lane show. And I look forward to working with you some more again, brother.
Of course, dog. Respect you. Keep doing your thing, yo.
And y'all make sure y'all follow Unconventional.
And follow
Also,
the Track and
post,
Field
do
Network.
it, do it, do it.
God damn it.
What else? What
Yeah, the
else you
track.
got? What else you got?
Yeah, you got
Unconventional.
it.
You got
Unconventional
sprinter
Entertainment Group
views,
on YouTube.
sprinter views.
Sprint reviews, sprint culture, that's all on Unconventional Entertainment Group. But yo, the Track and Field Network has just gotten off the ground about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I brought a bunch of creators together in order to put together, uh, you know, a network of different, a broad scope of different kind of content, whether it's statistics, whether it's music compilations, whether it's just updates, anything that a network would be necessary to have with personalities and everything across the board. We're really trying to build it up into an actual legitimate digital network because the world's going in a digital direction. Um, and yeah, things are starting to get rolling with that. And you know, the track and field community can come to the track and field network and realize that that's really track and field, and you'll get the authentic, pure view of track and field. So go ahead and follow the track and field network. That's where it's at, yo.
Yes.
Trayvon, I don't like you.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for giving me your time, brother. It's been a great
It's all good,
interview.
yeah.
I appreciate you, brother. Keep doing your thing and keep, inspiring others like myself.
Appreciate that. Yo, respect, man.
Okay. Revolution.
Respect.
Peace.